Hello and a very good day everyone. So today we will learn on how we can actually build a dashboard in Excel. If you look over here in this particular data, we do have 4 different columns, whereby in this table we have date column, banks column, revenue segment and RM. So basically I want to show to my manager which banks has the highest revenue segment, and I want to show the performance over the months, and also I want to show the revenue segments, the performance over the banks. So now let's get started. So if just say you want to highlight the table, what you do is you just put your cursor anywhere on the table and you press Ctrl A. By pressing Ctrl A, it will highlight the entire table, and then what you want to do is, if you want to create a dashboard, well, we will use pivot table. So I go to insert and I click pivot table. So once I click pivot table, you will notice a box will appear. So I'm going to press enter and you will be navigated to a new worksheet. So now this is the pivot table over here. So now what I want to do is, basically I want to actually create a pivot chart and so on. So first thing what I do is, I'll just put the banks and put it over the filters over here. And then what I'll do is, I'll just tick the months. So when I tick the date, you will notice the months will appear. And then next thing is, what I'll do is, I'll just tick the RM. So once I tick the RM, what you'll notice here is, this is the revenue by months. So I'm going to name this as revenue. And then what I'm going to do next is, I just want to do another thing as well. So I'll just drag the revenue and put over here. So now we have another revenue. I'm going to press here right click. And then what I'm going to do next is, I just want to actually go to show value as and go to percentage difference from. Once I click over here, I'll choose the base item of previous. So once I press previous, I press OK. So now we can see the trending actually. So this is the month on month trending. And the next thing what I want to do is, I actually want to show the running total or the cumulative. So I will drag the RM and put it over here. And I'm going to press here right click. And then what I'm going to do next is, I'm going to actually go to show value as, and I want to go to running total in, and I'm going to press OK. So over here, I'm going to put as cumulative, or the accumulative sales from January up to August. So what I'm going to do next is, I'm going to press here Shift F11 and I'm going to go to the sheet 4, Ctrl A. So I'm going to highlight all these, Ctrl C, and I'll paste it somewhere here. So this is where I'll paste, and this is our data. So what I'm going to do this is, I just want to remove the bank filter, and I want to put the filters actually the value at the row. So the days I'll remove, the date I remove, so value I put it over here, and months I put it over here. So now this is how it looks like. And then what I'm going to do next is, I actually don't want the grand total. So I go to actually design, and then I go to grand total. I'll just press off for row and column. So this is how it looks. And if just say I don't want the column labels and value, I go to pivot table analyze and I just remove over here. So I can actually remove the field headers. So I'm going to click on field headers, and just like that it will be disappeared. So if just say I want to remove want to change the design, I can go to the design and I can choose any color I want. So in this case, maybe I choose blue color, up to you. And what I'm going to do next is, I just want to make it align center, so that we have align center. And I want to create a conditional formatting. So over here, I'm going to click conditional formatting, highlight cell rules. So if just say greater than 0, I'm going to put it as green color. And if just say it is less than 0, I'm going to put it as red color. So less than 0, it is red color. And I want to put here bold. So now my manager can see what is the monthly performance and what is the trending, and also can see the cumulative as well. So what I'm going to do next is, I'm going to press here Ctrl A, Ctrl C, and I'm going to paste it down here. So now we do have another pivot table, but this pivot table I want to show the breakdown. So what I'm going to do is, I want to actually unselect the months or remove the months, remove the cumulative, remove the trending. And over here, what I want to do is, of course I want the months, I put the months over here, but this time I want the revenue segments. So now, right now my manager can see the performance of revenue segment for each month. And then what I'm going to do next is, I just want to go to the design and then go to grand totals on for columns only. So right now my manager can see the totals and so on. Alright, so now this is the breakdown. This is the monthly performance. We have the trending and so on. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to go to sheet 4. Over here, I'll just remove the cumulative. I remove the trending. And what I want to do is I want to create a pivot chart. So I go to pivot table analyze and I'll just create a pivot chart. So now this is our pivot chart. Press OK, and then I'm going to press here Ctrl X and go to sheet 5 and I'm going to paste it over here. And I'll adjust accordingly. So right now this data over here, so let me just adjust. So now we do have this data over here. I don't want this button, so right click and I'm going to choose as hide all field. So now it's been removed. I don't want the legend, I don't want the grid line, so I'm going to click this, unselect the legend, unselect the grid line, and I want data label so that my manager can see this is the label. And I don't want the title, so I remove the title. And I don't want here the full number, so right click here, go to format axis, and instead of showing here none, I want to show here as thousands so that it is a short form data over here. So right now this is the data. Of course, here we have the chart, here we have the monthly performance, here we have the breakdown. I also want another pivot table, so I'm going to press it Ctrl A, Ctrl C, and I'm going to paste it over here, Ctrl B. And over here what I want to do is I want to create a pivot table dedicated for the revenue segment but showing the percentage allocation. So what I'm going to do is I just want to remove the months and I'll put the RM one more time, so that right now you will see there's another 2 RM over here, and the values I'll just put at the columns. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to press here right click and I'm going to go to show value as percentage of grand total. So this is how it looks like, and I'm going to put here percentage allocation, so my manager can see the apportionment of each revenue segment. And I want to actually sort this from largest to smallest, making sure that the data is sorted from largest to smallest. Next thing what I want to do is I'm going to copy this, Ctrl A, Ctrl C, and paste one more time, but this time I want to remove the allocation and I want to actually show the graph only. So I go to pivot table analyze, pivot chart, and I want to choose a bar chart. I press OK, so there you go. So I'm going to just click this and unselect the legend, unselect the grid lines, and I'm going to press here right click and I want to show hide all field. So this is how it looks like, and I want to show the data label, so make sure it is located inside. So I'm going to go here and located at inside end. And of course we can't see the numbers, so what I want to do is I want to change to white color. So change to white color and bold it, so there you go. But if just say I want to sort from largest to smallest, I'll select the y-axis, right click, format axis, and categories in reverse order. So now this is how it looks like. It looks better, and the total also I don't want. So this is how I want to show to my manager. Let me just adjust this accordingly, and there you go. So right now we do have the performance, we do have the revenue segment and the allocation, we do have this monthly data. So I need to sort this as well. So I'm going to press Ctrl Spacebar, alternate HOI. I'm going to press here right click. So I'm going to press here right click and then pivot table options. I will unselect the auto fit. So whenever there's update, it will not auto fit. And there you go. So this is how the data looks like. I'm going to do the same thing as well. Right click and I'm going to go show here pivot table option, unselect the auto fit and press OK. So now this is how the data looks like. And what I want to do is I want to create a slicer and an interactive title. So I go to sheet 4 and I'm going to copy this, paste it over here. So if just say if all is equals to all, then I put here overall banks. Otherwise it should be this B1 over here. Alright, so now this is how it looks like. So here we have overall banks. So I'll go to sheet 5. I want to merge this data, merge this cell over here. Okay, and I want to insert some blank space. Alright, so this is how it works. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is equal revenue performance. Why I put apostrophe? Because this is a text, this is a words. So equal can only recognize number. It cannot recognize letters or alphabet. So that is why I put here apostrophe. Revenue performance of space, close apostrophe and I want to choose overall banks. So this is how it works. And I want to align middle, put the size of 38, and actually I want to make it bold, and I just want to adjust this accordingly. Alright, now it looks better. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to pivot chart analyze, insert slicer, and I want to insert 4 banks. I press OK, and there you go. So of course we have 4 different banks. I'm going to put here 4. I want to change the color, so I'm going to choose the color as dark, and I want to change this color as well, so let it make it better. So now this is the banks. But if just say I don't want the header, I go to slicer settings, unselect the header and press OK. So now it looks better. So there you go. So now we have this data over here. So let me just adjust this a minor thing. Okay, so this is how our data looks like. And what I'm going to do is I just want to actually format the data, format the cell. So I'm going to put here dark blue and white color font. So this is how it looks like, and I don't want the grid lines, so I go to view, unselect the grid lines, and there you go. So now this is how the data looks like. And of course, if just say you want to change the color, you can go to home, you can put here dark blue, and you can do the same thing as well. I'm going to put here dark blue as well, and this is how the data looks like. So basically, when I click CIMB, it will actually show me the performance of revenue performance of CIMB Bank. But if just say I click Maybank, it will show me the revenue performance of Maybank. But of course, only this particular pivot chart is changing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press here right click. I go to report connection, and I actually need to select all the pivot table. So what I need to do is I have to select all. So select this pivot table 10, pivot table 11, and I press OK. So right now, if just say when I click CIMB, you will notice that all these pivot table will changes accordingly. So this chart shows the performance from January to August. We also can see the month-on-month trending. We can see the cumulative revenue. At the same time, we can also see the breakdown revenue from January up to August. And over here, we can see the revenue segment and its revenue segment allocation. So if just say I click public bank, you will notice that for public bank, investment and treasury income is the highest. But when I click RHB bank, we notice it's the same thing. When I click Maybank, you notice that the net interest income is the highest. So this is actually how you can actually prepare a dashboard and send to your